Surprise, surprise, Meta's big Connect event was all about AI. Here are the most important announcements. Welcome back to the AI Breakdown. AI product autumn continues unabated, and today we are talking about all of the biggest announcements from Meta's big Connect event, which was held yesterday. Now, we are going to count these down 5 to 1 for some fun with a ranked order where I'll tell you the announcement and then why it was a big deal, and we're going to kick it off with an honorable mention, which is all about privacy. Yesterday, Meta announced a new generative AI privacy guide, which is basically a way of helping people understand better things like how they've trained their models, how interacting with their AIs is different from talking with friends, and what Meta's new privacy policies are in this whole new AI-powered world. One big thing here is that while Meta says that they have worked hard to, quote, limit the possibility of private information that you may share with generative AI features from appearing in responses to other people, they've also, quote, built in commands that allow you to delete information shared in any chat with an AI across Messenger, Instagram, or WhatsApp. They also say that Meta AI can't intrude upon your conversations, it has to be summoned, or to use the word that they use, invoked. Hold aside the fact that it's spooky season and invoke sounds like something more for a witch ceremony than a technology, and we'll keep moving on. Anyway, this doesn't get an honorable mention because it's a huge deal in and of itself. It gets an honorable mention because Meta is rating it as high enough to actually have a conscientious policy around, which shows to some extent that consumers are also thinking about it as well. But with that, let's move to our main ranked list. And at number 5, we're starting with the social profiles, these characters that have been leaked about and promised for weeks now. Now, basically, these are the sort of character profiles that we had seen in reports where these chatbots have different personalities based on what the user might want to interact with. Now, the goal of these different chatbots is to give especially younger users the ability to customize how they interact with artificial intelligence, even if the model underlying it is the same. Basically, it brings a layer of personality and customization to the experience that they might not have with an otherwise generic chatbot. Now, what's new and what hadn't been reported before is that they were partnering with a group of people from all different aspects of popular culture to, quote, play and embody some of these AIs. So, for example, there's Paris Hilton as Amber, detective partner for solving whodunits, Tom Brady as Bruh, a wisecracking sports debater who pulls no punches, Snoop Dogg as Dungeon Master, and even Mr. Beast as Zach, the big brother who will roast you because he cares. They say that from these 28 starting points, they'll be rolling out even more characters in the coming weeks. Now, you might be noticing that I put this pretty low on the list, right? It's number 5, even though in many ways it seems like they were positioning this as the most hyped and to be discussed part of the whole announcement. The reason that I'm putting it so low is that I'm just extremely skeptical that these are going to resonate in the way that Meta hopes they resonate. I could be completely wrong. I could be out of touch entirely with what young people want. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. But it feels far more likely that young people treat these like a cringe novelty rather than as an actual new social experience. Now, at the same time, the fact that they might onboard more young people to interacting with an AI chatbot that they might not otherwise have experimented with could mean that they don't have to become a long-term default feature of Meta for them to have been successful. I just remain in the skeptical camp when it comes to this specific implementation. So on that front, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, number 4 on our list of most important announcements from Meta's event was the announcement of AI Studio. This is basically a set of developer tools for enterprises to actually get their hands dirty and make chatbots for their companies. Meta says that the idea of AI Studio is to give companies the ability to, quote, create AIs that reflect their brand's values and improve customer service experiences. So, of course, one of the things that makes this interesting is the fact that Facebook and Instagram in particular have become huge e-commerce platforms. People see ads for things that are related to their interests and can buy them right away from that mobile experience and actually use the chat experiences inside those apps as a way to interact with those brands. And indeed, Zuckerberg said yesterday that the main use cases that Meta imagines for these AI Studio tools and for these custom enterprise chatbots are e-commerce and customer support. Now, this is a very preliminary offering. It's going to be available only in alpha, and Meta plans to only begin really starting to scale the toolkit early next year. Now, interestingly, they said in addition to the release of AI Studio, they're also building what they call a sandbox tool that'll be designed to help companies experiment with creating their own AIs. So an example use case might be a small indie game studio using Meta's platform to build more interactive non-player characters, especially across metaverse games. Now, we have already had a chatbot trend for this type of use case of e-commerce and customer support going all the way back to 2015, 2016. But obviously the technology underlying those chatbots is hugely different now. I'm still not sure that this becomes a default way that people interact with their customers, which is why I have it still relatively low down the list at number 4. But I do think that it shows how Meta is thinking about not just artificial intelligence as a social engagement tool, as with their characters, but as something that can actually help the businesses that make the platform work from a financial perspective right now. Next up, we have a new feature that's akin to things that we've recently seen from YouTube. Basically, creators who use Facebook and Instagram are soon going to have a veritable bounty of new AI-powered tools. You'll remember that when we talked about YouTube's Meet on YouTube event last week, one of the things that they had was Dream Screen, which was a new builder of video or image backgrounds for YouTube Shorts. Well, Meta is going to have something that's not totally dissimilar, but that's an AI photo editing tool where users can do things like take a photo and restyle it. The example they gave is someone who takes a selfie and turns it into a Picasso painting, as well as a backdrop tool, which is effectively an AI green screen that drops in an AI-generated background to whatever the creator's imagination is. They're also adding a new tool for AI-generated stickers across their chat experiences. So, for example, when someone is interacting on Facebook Messenger and wants to send a, quote, unicorn birthday cake, rather than having to rely on that sticker already being created by someone, they can just generate it on the fly. Now, the reason that I think these tools are more significant perhaps than those AI social profiles is that these are the types of things that I think are more likely to bring some fun, whimsy, and creativity back to a platform that perhaps feels like it's missing some of that right now, like Facebook. At the end of the day, the reason that we still use these apps, despite perhaps having moved on from their heyday for some of us, is that all of our people are still there. They still bridge us to the people in our lives, especially ones that we don't interact with that often through things like our normal SMS systems. I don't know if unicorn birthday cake stickers are going to change the tide of getting younger people to interact on Facebook and Messenger, but AI tools that allow people to better express their own creativity with the friends that they already have feels like an interesting thing to at least explore. I also think that this is representative of a larger trend that we've talked about a lot this fall, where many of the quote-unquote AI innovations aren't really innovations, but more integrations into the experiences that people are already using. These tools are a great example of that, and I think are likely to be fairly successful for the company, even if in not flashy, not headline-grabbing kinds of ways. Number 2 is the new RayBan Meta smart glasses. Now, Meta has built these types of smart glasses before, but in the previous versions, the main value proposition was almost entirely about videos and imagery. In other words, capturing a picture from your glasses rather than pulling out your phone. What's different about these, of course, are that they're powered by a new underlying technology in the form of LLMs. They write, "We've integrated Meta AI, our advanced conversational assistant, on RayBan Meta smart glasses and optimized it for a hands-free on-the-go experience. By saying, 'Hey Meta,' you can engage with Meta AI to spark creativity, get information, and control features just by using your voice." Now, there are a ton of other whiz-bangs and gadgets and excitements for people who do live streaming. You can now go directly live from your glasses, which is very cool. But it's this feature which to me seems so relevant. And for those who watched my video about why ChatGPT Vision was such a big deal, you'll recognize something similar. In the same way that ChatGPT Vision, its multimodal example, being able to input images from the real world and interact with them, both through text and through voice, meant that it opened up this entirely new world of use cases for the ChatGPT mobile app. Meta's glasses are something really similar, but in a different form factor. Let's watch a clip of Mark Zuckerberg introducing the glasses to get a sense of what I'm talking about.
The next generation of RayBan Meta smart glasses. These are the first smart glasses that are built and shipping with Meta AI in them. Starting in the US, you're going to get this state-of-the-art AI that you can interact with hands-free wherever you go. We're going to be issuing a free software update to the glasses that makes them multimodal. So the glasses are going to be able to understand what you're looking at when you ask them questions. So if you want to know what the building is that you're standing in front of, or if you want to translate a sign that's in front of you to know what it's saying, or if you need help fixing this sad leaky faucet, you can basically just talk to Meta AI and look at it, and it'll walk you through it step by step how to do it.
Now, so far, consumers have proven pretty resistant to this type of tech-integrated smart device, but I wouldn't be surprised if the ability to ask questions about the world around you and get real-time answers is the thing that makes the big difference and actually breaks this into the mainstream. By one anecdotal example, I have never, ever even slightly considered any of these products before, and I am very seriously considering pre-ordering these glasses for $299. Now, last up, number one on our list of most important announcements is in some ways the simplest one. It's the fact that Meta's AI is being integrated everywhere. Hold aside the cute little characters and social profiles. Hold aside the ability to turn your selfie into a famous painting style. The fact that Meta is leaning into integrating AI chat into your existing chat experiences is where I think the real power of this feature lies. During Zuckerberg's demo, he showed a set of screens from Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram that all showed different use cases. In a group chat on Messenger, someone created an image of surfing the clouds. In a family group chat on WhatsApp, someone uses Meta to ask for restaurant recommendations in Austin. And in a biking group on Instagram, Meta AI is invoked, to use their word, to discover extreme mountain biking trails in Colorado. Now, again, I'm not totally sure that any of these use cases, aside from perhaps the image generation, which has no equivalent elsewhere, is really going to become normal or standard for people. I think that if you're planning a biking trip with a bunch of friends in Colorado, you're going to do extensive research, not just ask an AI assistant in Instagram. But I think that that matters a lot less, at least initially, than the fact that just with a simple @Meta AI, this AI assistant can be called into the places where people are already interacting day in and day out. I don't think Meta needs to know what use cases there are going to be to feel fairly confident that if they give people this technology, they will lead them to the use cases that matter. And so what you have here ultimately, in the great AI battle that all of these companies are a part of, is the second front, firmly and clearly articulated. The first front in the battle is underlying models, Meta's Llama versus OpenAI's GPT versus Google's forthcoming Gemini. But the second front of the battle is about integration into consumer experiences that people already have. That's where companies that already have a relationship with customers like Meta and like Google think they can gain ground even if they happen to be still behind on the foundation models relative to OpenAI. It's fascinating to watch, and a lot more options exist today for people to use this type of AI than they did before. And so I guess at the end of the day, we're just waiting for the next set of announcements that could redefine our imagination once again. However, that is where we will wrap for today's AI Breakdown. Thank you, as always, for listening or watching. If you want to come chat about these issues, come join us on the AI Breakdown Discord. You can find a link at bit.ly/AI Breakdown. We'll see you there. Until next time, peace.